Okay, in this video we're gonna demonstrate M+ controller and the fax operation. First of all, M+ controller has an optional RJ11 subscriber loop interface circuit. If you have that circuit installed in here, it can actually support a fax function, regular group 3 fax. What you do is have this cable coming out of this external port, plug into the RJ11 cable of the fax machine. And in this demonstration, we're going to have basically use a broadband connection to demonstrate how fax work. Fax, the way M+ controller work with fax is that the fax machine is actually shared among multiple users. So a fax machine connected to M+ controller can actually be used by multiple users, and each user actually has his own individual fax number. So for doing that, you need to first log into the M+ system, and when you log into the M+ system, you get dynamically assigned a fax extension number. That number is dynamic. And one key thing about fax, M+ fax, is that the fax number you have will go with wherever you go. So tomorrow, if you go on to a complete different location and there's an M+ controller there, if you log in over there, your fax would be sent over there wherever you are. So it's important to understand that a fax is actually not associated with the hardware device physically. It's actually a dynamic number. So first thing we do is that we have to log into the system. To do that, I'm going to come here and basically look for an M+ access point, and once that's available, I'll log in to 10.121, which is a fax, which is an M+ access point, and I'm going to log into my account. And because I'm the first user logging into this M+ system here, I will get assigned an extension which is 20. The next user login will get an extension 21 and 22 and so on and so forth. So when you are sending a fax, you have to, since this is a shared fax machine, you have to identify which extension you are. So for example, I'm extension 20, so I need to dial 20 in the fax machine to let the system know the fax is actually from this particular user. And you can dial two different ways. One is I can just simply dial 20, and the fax would actually show up on the conversation window here, and then I can actually click on the button and decide which number I want to fax it to, and that fax will get forwarded to that fax number. Or if I want a much faster, simple operation, I can do 20 star destination number, and the destination number has to be starting with the country code and the fax number. So what I'm going to do is do a simple fax operation, just dial 20. And then hit the start key. And then the fax will actually get scanned and put in a conversation window. And so this is one way of sending it. The other way is basically 20 star and a destination number. And once the fax is scanned and in a conversation window, you can actually preview it before you forward to a number, if that's what you want to do. And also on the fax receiving side, we also have several different options. We'll show how it works later when we receive a fax. But basically, when you receive a fax, it will show up. Normally, it will show up on the conversation window as a file, attachment file. You can then decide to click an icon to, okay, we have a fax document scan right here now. You can click on it to print the document, because there are two reasons for that. Number one, sometimes you get a fax, you can look at it on the computer or your iPad or whatever, and you decide that fax is not worth printing. So you can save it for later. Every single fax, by the way, would be forwarded to your own email account. So you have a copy of that as a backup. And you can decide when to print the fax when you receive a fax. Also, because the fax machine is shared, sometimes you have a private document. You may not want the fax to automatic print out on the fax machine that other people can see. So by providing with the capability to control when to print that particular received document, it's one of the M+ feature. However, for some people, you don't want to bother dealing with that, and you just want to print. Whenever the fax come in, you just want it to print. You can also configure your account and enable what we call the auto print. So whenever the fax come in, it will automatically get printed on the fax machine without you having to do anything. So here I have a fax. I'm going to click on this icon, and it will ask me where to send it. And I'm just going to type in now the fax. I just type in the fax number, and then the document is getting transferred now. And when the fax is actually delivered on the other side, you actually get a message in your conversation window indicating the fax has been delivered. We also have a feature allowed you to do eFax, which means you can come here and do an attachment here and select a document, and fax it out. The document could be on your computer, it could be a PNG file, a graphic file, a JPEG file, a PDF file, whatever. And the system, once it receives the document, will actually convert that back to a fax and deliver the fax for you and send you a confirmation. So we are transferring, the box is actually transfer the image all the way to the ground, and the fax server will do its own work in the back. When it's done, it will come back. Okay, right here we got a message saying the fax has been delivered successfully. And we also got a fax coming back, because I actually faxed to my own fax number, so it's like a loop back. So now you see there's an icon here. You can click on this to look at the image. Test fax, which is the one I just sent here. Well, the fax machine scanner has a broken strip here. So you can actually review the fax before you decide whether you want to print. Or you can just say print, and then the fax will get dumped out to the fax machine. Okay, now the fax would get dumped out to the fax machine. So pretty much this describe all the fax capability of M+. The other feature we have is that if you are saying, I'm just going to have a fax function, I really don't want any human interaction, you can configure M+ to have what we call the auto login. So you can actually put your username, password in there, and the minute you turn on the box, it would actually log into your account just like you were actually logging in. And so by doing that, plus the auto print capability, you can have this fax machine send and receive without you having to get on the computer. Thank you very much.